Officials at the Tema port deny knowledge of container carrying cocaine.
Family of the murdered Member of Parliament for Iboakan North, J.B. Dankwa Edo, serves notice to resort to the International Criminals Court to seek justice.
President Akufo-Addo encourages ECOWAS leaders to work towards strengthening tenets of democracy and promotes intra-regional trade.
And in business evening, Minister for Special Development Initiatives of the Presidency, Howard Kumsin, calls for stakeholder meeting to revamp Ghana cotton generally in the Upper West region to partner government in revamping the factory.
And on the foreign front, police foiled terror plot after a woman was shot during a raid on a house in Wilston, northwest London. We have the details of these stories as well as the very latest in sports and entertainment in the next hour. Stay with us. You're watching News 360. Our first story this evening. Family of the murdered MP for Iboakan North constituency, J.B. Dankwa Edu, has served a notice it will resort to an international body such as the International Criminal Court in seeking justice. The family says it is gathering about 2 million signatures to facilitate its intention to petition the ICC.
The Bretuo and the Champon families are unhappy with the delay in prosecuting the case and have given the prosecution a 3-month ultimatum to come to the conclusion of the matter. Addressing the media at the family house of the late MP at Achim Old Tafo in the eastern region on Friday, Bretuo Hene Bafo Odietua Echampon said they are unhappy with the slow pace at which the case is being heard in court. According to the family, it had the opportunity to present a petition to President Akufo-Addo at the Flagstaff House last Tuesday, April 25 in Accra, and was received by the Deputy Chief of Staff, Abu Jinapo, at his office. They said they will ensure justice is served to the letter.
Now, earlier today, the Accra High Court could not commence the trial of Daniel Esiedo and Vincent Bosso, the 2 persons who have been indicted for the murder of the former Member of Parliament for Iboakan North constituency, Joseph Boachi Dankwa, on their first appearance before the court presided over by Justice Lawrence Mensah. The absence of Augustine Obo, lawyer for the 2 accused persons, caused the court to adjourn the case to May 5.
The inability to commence the trial was also occasioned by the Attorney General, who in a letter to the court requested a short adjournment to enable prosecution partake in a capacity building training for state attorneys, therefore unable to make it to court to start the trial. Thus, the court obliged. Justice Lazagla Mensah asked the accused persons who were present in court to make contact with their lawyer and inform him of the next court sitting day. He stressed that the proceedings at the magistrate court were just preliminary and that the real serious business is now starting, hence the need for them to get their lawyer to come defend them. If the trial had started, the accused persons would have selected a 7-member jury for the trial. Daniel Asedu is being charged with murder and robbery, while Vincent Bosso has been charged with abetment of robbery.
Away from that, the quest to seek greener pastures in war-torn Libya by an 18-year-old has left him with only regrets. Brian Mensah tells TV3 he trekked 3 weeks through the desert at the age of 14 to Libya. Komla Kluche has his story and that of over 300 Ghanaians who voluntarily returned home Thursday evening.
There was an explosion. It is what has rendered me in this condition. Staggering hardship Kwekuba have had to go through in Libya.
The
situation in Libya is so bad. Any day we don't get a flight to return home, a Ghanaian dies in the camp.
They decided to go on their own, guys. But unfortunately, they say a gas burst in the apartment, and there were 3 in the room. One of them lost his life through the burns, but the 2 of them, this is how their conditions are.
As though his story was not enough, we discovered Brian, who walks through other arrivals of the Kotoka International Airport, heaving a sigh of relief, fully prepared for his return, which he has been seeking for the past 6 months.
Okay, before desert in the
Going to Libya, I was 14 years and I used the desert. While going on a 3 weeks journey, I was eating gari and bread.
Okay, you did gari, and a pan only biscuits.
Conflict has left the North African country disintegrated and now dangerous to live in. This video obtained from the returnees shows the experiences of some Africans who are rounded up by these unidentified soldiers, robbed of their property at gunpoint. TV3 cannot independently verify the authenticity of this video, but the returnees confirmed what they go through. You work and they pounce on you and rob you of all you have worked for. The Libyan ambassador to Ghana, Abuaisha Yahya, who was spotted at the airport, will not confirm or deny these allegations. Migration experts have chided the foreign ministry for not doing a proper screening and stock of these returnees.
That the country should have a concerted approach towards encouraging return, readmission, and reintegration. So government has specific roles to play, as the policy have highlighted.
For many of these returnees, coming back home is the greatest joy.
Despite seeking greener pastures, but for them, home would always be home, and they will seek better conditions of living here in Ghana. Komla Kluche, TV3 News, Accra.
Very worrying situation there, but we'll keep an eye on it and give you a lot more development subsequently. But 3 chief directors at the ministries risk being dismissed if they fail to improve their performance in the next round of performance assessment for this year. The 3 have currently been given a second chance by the Civil Service Council to up their game.
For the 2016 and 2017 performance review, 27 chief directors were assessed by the Office of the Head of Civil Service. Out of the 27 directors assessed, only 5 scored excellent with 90% mark, while 9 of them scored good with 80% mark. 10 of the directors scored between 50 to 60%, while 3 scored below the 50% mark. The Chief Director for the Ministry of Education, Enoch Kobina, was adjudged the best Chief Director for 2016. Chief Director for Works and Housing came second, while Chief Director for the Ministry of Energy was ranked third. The Chief Director for Lands and Natural Resources came fourth, while Roads and Highways Chief Director came fifth. Some 3 of the Chief Directors scored below the 50% mark. The Head of Civil Service, Nana Dwamena, has offered them a second chance to up their performance for this year.
And one of the areas that we think we can work on as civil servants is enforcing the service delivery standards, and also, by extension, support the fight against corruption.
The Executive Secretary for the Civil and Local Government Staff Association, CLOCSA Ghana, Isaac Bampo Ado, lauded the directors for their hard work, but reminded them to ask government to pay their interim market premium.
Is the delayed implementation of payment of premium to staff within the civil and local government services. Despite assurances secured from representatives of government, the payment of premium is yet to be effected.
Later, ministers from the various ministries signed the 2017 performance assessment for their chief directors.
Meanwhile, the Chief of Staff has warned the Chief Directors not to sabotage ministers in pushing through government policies and initiatives. Frema Osei Opare sternly indicated Chief Directors found culpable will be severely sanctioned.
The Chief of Staff issued the warning during the signing of the performance assessment for Chief Directors of the ministries. She indicated government will not witch hunt any Chief Director, but provide them with resources to work. She hurriedly warned them not to sabotage the ministers in pushing through government's agenda.
These actors, your leaders, need to convince themselves that you will neither sabotage them nor hide things from them. They need to trust and have confidence in you. Confidence and trust can only be built through transparency and accountability.
She again asked them to improve on their work and performance for this year.
We shall not tolerate non-performance. The harm that non-performance has caused to the fortunes of this heavily endowed nation of ours is great, and this must not be allowed to continue.
Minister for Monitoring and Evaluation, Dr. Kutosei, charged his colleague ministers to be time conscious to improve on government operations.
I came on time. The chief directors came on time. Unfortunately, most of my colleagues did not come on time. The president has told us when we want to start the meeting at 11 and it sits at 11, you cannot come in again. So please, colleagues, this is not a good beginning.
He requested the chief directors to promptly ask for their subvention from the Minister of Finance. Dr. Kutosei again cautioned the chief directors not to be too laid back in their work.
I don't know about my colleagues. I intend to deliver. So if you happen to be my chief director, that's Office of the President, and a letter comes, it is your desk for 10 days and I cannot perform, I will talk with you.
Now, President Akufo-Addo has encouraged ECOWAS leaders to work towards strengthening the tenets of democracy and take advantage of intra-regional trade. The president was speaking and also receiving Gambian President Adama Barrow at the Flagstaff House in Accra. He praised ECOWAS for its role in ensuring peace during the Gambian political crisis.
President Adama Barrow, who was in the country for a one-day visit, was first met at the airport by the Foreign Minister Shirley Ayoko-Boche in the company of some government officials. President Barrow then inspected a guard of honor. President Barrow later called on President Akufo-Addo at the Flagstaff House. The Gambian leader was grateful for Ghana's role during the political crisis in his country.
I have to come and say thank you. But the most interesting is the ECOWAS head of state, including yourself and the government of Ghana, intervene in the Gambia. You intervene to defend democracy. You intervene to defend the verdict of the Gambian people. You intervene to defend the truth, because the problem was an African problem, and the solution was an African solution.
President Akufo-Addo urged ECOWAS leaders to work towards strengthening democracy and intra-regional trade for the benefit of the people.
The process of democratic consolidation in our region required that the region stand up and support the Gambian people's decision to elect you as their new leader. And then secondly, the opportunity it gave for ECOWAS to act as a collective unit with a common purpose and an objective was important.
President Adama Barrow has since left for Gambia.
In other stories, the fire service has debunked allegations that fuel shortages is impeding firefighting. The chief Fire Officer Dr. Brown Gazy says fuel shortages impacted negatively on its operations in the past, but this is no more. Komla Kluche has the report.
Recent fires have made news despite what the National Fire Service says is its full commitment to fighting it. The public has complained firefighting efforts have not met their standard. The latest is the complaint from Group Indom on the fire at the Coconut Grove Hotel in Accra. The service, however, says this is not the case.
I sincerely believe that before you can sufficiently criticize the professional conduct or professional behavior of an institution, you need to understand the technicalities, you need to understand the scientific approach towards the performance of that institution.
The incessant complaints from the public anytime there's a fire outbreak raises concerns. TV3 has learned some fire stations have run without fuel allocation for tenders, and in some cases, heads of these stations have had to fuel the heavy-duty tenders using their own resources. The Chief Fire Officer, Dr. Albert Brown Gazy, denies this.
So you would want to say that none of the vehicles, at no point in time, has any of the vehicles for fire service ever run out of fuel because you've not had your allocation from the Ministry of Interior?
It is not right. It is absolutely not right. As I speak to you, we have stock of fuel there. And the bridges are all coming for their fuel for this particular month.
He, however, admitted the service depends on fuel coupon allocation from government.
For instance, the headquarters. Do you have a fuel pump here?
There is no fire station in Ghana that has a fuel pump. Fire station, you don't create hazards. Professionally, it's not good. You create a hazard. The other aspect is that we find a way of rather containing the fuel. The vehicles must always be at a certain level. And even if you have fuel dump and you continue having a protracted fire, definitely your fuel will get finished.
The service has pleaded for cooperation, arguing that no fire officer will be unwilling to respond to a distress call.
Whatever limited facilities that we have, it's our duty to ensure effective, efficient, and judicious use of those resources. It's your ability to manage with a little that makes you efficient. We cannot, the mere acquisition of fire tenders doesn't mean that you are fire safe. And the mere acquisition of a fire tender doesn't mean that you have prevented fires. No, they are fire engines. Anything can happen to it.
Well, is the country's educational system tailored towards work? How functional is Ghana's education as we speak at the moment? What is Dr. Joyce Aye also saying about this?
It is not the fault of the license holders. If you tell them you're giving them a license to mine, it is your duty as an institution to take the issue to Parliament to do that. So I think that, we should make sure that our institutions do the right thing. Hold the institution accountable for even causing financial loss to the state. You see, because
so let's give the Minerals Commission.
Yes, why not?
Dr. Joyce is going to be speaking on a number of issues tomorrow at 1 p.m. on Hot Issues with Winston Amwa.
Yeah, well, let's now take a look at how the weather will be faring this evening through till tomorrow.
On to one of our major headline stories. This evening, officials at the Tema port have denied any knowledge of a container carrying bags of cocaine. This follows revelations that 500 kilograms of cocaine worth about $30 million had disappeared from the port. News reports indicated 10 bags of cocaine hidden in a consignment of rice had vanished from the port under very mysterious circumstances.
There were reports of a ship alleged to be carrying some containers with cocaine on board. The vessel arrived at the Tema port in December 2016, but the suspected cocaine vanished before February 23, 2017, when all stakeholders conducted compulsory tests on the container. According to investigations, for over 2 months, the importer did not show up to clear the rise. Sources say NACOB officials had fixed the 25th of February to undertake compulsory scanning of the container and inform all stakeholders. However, NACOB sources said intelligence later indicated that one of the containers had been moved to Golden Jubilee Terminal. When the container was subsequently opened, it was realized that 10 bags, each weighing 50 kilograms, were missing from the consignment. The manager in charge of the Tema Fishing Harbour, Joanna Ada, however, says they were unaware of any such substance in the container.
Indeed, the letter to GPAT did not state the reasons for that directive. The letter did not indicate that they suspected some cocaine in one of the containers.
For now, officials of NACOB have declined comments, saying they are awaiting directives from the AG's department. Meanwhile, the Customs, Excess and Preventive Service of the Ghana Revenue Authority at the Tema port is dismissing claims that 500 kilograms of cocaine worth about $30 million is missing at the port. They claim thorough investigations conducted by the Bureau of National Investigations, the Narcotics Control Board, and the Ministry of Interior has revealed that no container with cocaine had been detained at the port. Confident Nyaji is sector commander of SERPS at the Tema port.
Customs has no role in this matter. To the extent that we have not been informed, we have no knowledge of anything like that.
Right. So what I'm going to do with you right now is just give you a chronicle of a number of cocaine cases that have been recorded in this country, and if this proves to be true, it would not be the first case of cocaine going missing or vanishing under strange circumstances at our ports of entry. Now, what you see on your screens right now is that famous MV Benjamin cocaine case. 77 parcels of cocaine, well, about 30 kilograms. And if you recall, that particular case came in around the 26th of April 2006, some 11 years ago. A vessel with the name MV Benjamin reportedly carrying about 77 parcels of cocaine, with each parcel weighing 30 kilograms, docked at the Bong Tema and also discharged the parcels. You might rightly recall how this case traveled with the limping man, obviously having, and the others, some others also standing trial for that. Okay, so that's the brief of the case that you see as well on your screens right now. The next is the cocaine turned sodium carbonate, or the baking soda case, and which, as you see, which was seized from an accused person, confirmed by the police to be cocaine after testing and weighing 1,020 grams, later turned out to be sodium carbonate, commonly known as washing soda, after the court had ordered another test to be conducted by the Ghana Standards Board, now the Ghana Standards Authority. And you are rightly aware of that particular case of Nana Ama Martins versus the Republic, which indeed led to Gifty Maganyaga Tehoda standing trial, and if you recall, just about a month ago being set free for that particular issue that was brought up against her by the court of law. Now we have been confronted with this particular case of 500 kilograms of cocaine worth $30 million vanishing at the Tema ports. This was first put out by the Finder newspaper, which reported that 10 bags of suspected cocaine, each weighing 50 kilograms, hidden in a consignment of rice with an estimated street value of about $30 million, had vanished from the Tema port under some, according to their description, very mysterious circumstances. Now, this is not the first time that we're having to be confronted with this. Let me go on to the telephone lines now and speak with Dr. Kwesi Anin. He's a security expert with Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center. Doc, thank you very much for your time. Good evening to you. Now, with this particular case, what we've witnessed now is a blame game. The Narcotics Control Board blaming the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority and SEPS for moving the particular container to the Golden Jubilee unit without telling them. The GPHA and SEPS also says that if the NACOB was aware of any cocaine in that particular container, they should have mounted 24-hour security surveillance on it. What's your thoughts about the reactions coming in?
I don't think there's anything interesting about this case. If I heard you right, you said it can be international, Yele, Holder case, and now this. In all these cases, added to the multiplicity of other cases, there is always a blame game of institutions that are mandated to protect this state consistently over time fail to deliver the public service goods that we expect of them. So the blame game will continue. The real interest here, if you run the details of all the cases you have cited, is there a domestic network in Ghana that created public institutions mandated to protect us that are linked both to producer nations and then to recipient nations? That is number one. Number two is that from the embryo stage now, the dynamic of the storage, transmission, purchase of narcotics, diamonds, and gold have changed. Now, those who want to receive this high value are those who want to threaten the very existence of the state. So, Boko Haram, Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb, Dao, and then other violent extremists. Okay, so this is a case that you have to arrest by now. There should be no delay. You've got to tell access their laptops off to be used for forensic tests, their cell phones, their bank accounts closed, because something is just not right somewhere. And we've got to be sure.
Absolutely. Now, in talking about being sure in this instance, here's a case where the institutions that have been mandated to ensure that we are able to get to the root of this are the ones caught in this whole circus of blame. So how do we get to this?
And say the institutions don't work in isolation. It's individuals who are put in certain positions with the authority to act in particular ways. Why did those individuals fail? Because they are standard operating procedures. So let's get those people, interdict them, use their laptop, check their bank account, use their cell phones, do them, what else to do there? Okay, so if we do this, that's fine. Okay, but it's going to get much worse. Because see, the 30 million figure that you are quoting, everybody's jumping on. I mean, what is the basis for the 30 million?
Right.
Okay, because if it's coming from Suriname does not grow or does not produce cocaine.
True.
It came from somewhere else. And so we still not to understand the sophistication that underlies first the production, the transportation, the storage, and then the sale. An average cocaine in those parts of the world is 1,000 kilos. 1,000 kilos. Okay, so if you do the math,
I see.
Or an idea of what these drugs have been smuggled to. Because 1 kilo cocaine, that we know, is in Tokyo at $10,000 a kilo. Okay, so you guys should do the math and then say, in both countries, will X kilos, 30 million, possibly.
Okay, great.
But also that this also underlines our international collaborative effort. In MD Benjamin, we got the intelligence we failed. In Nayele's case, it was our British partners who caught Nayele and NACOB lied to the state that they were in partnership with a Brits, which was not true. Okay, and in this particular case, some intelligence was received. Once more, we failed.
Exactly.
Okay, so it begins to raise concerns even around how our international partners,
right,
what, whether they want to share sensitive, collaborative information.
Right. Doc.
But a few people also interdicted by the citizens.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Doc, for your time. I'm grateful that you're able to join us. We'll do the mathematics and make sense out of it. Dr. Kosienin is with the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, security analyst there. You're still watching News 360. Back with some more stories. Stay with us.
It's News 360. Time for business now. My name is Nanikia Mensah Abramfa. Let's settle down for the detail in the world of business. The Minister for Special Development Initiatives at the Presidency, Hawa Kumsin, has asked officials of the Ghana Cotton Ginnery, the Upper West Region, to partner government in revamping the factory. She has therefore asked shareholders to meet in Accra immediately for discussions on revamping processes.
2 months after President Nana Akufo-Addo assured of revamping the Ghana Cotton Ginnery in Tumu, the Minister for Special Development Initiatives, Hawa Kumsin, visited the ginnery to assess the state of the facility, and she was disappointed. The once 1,000-member of staff factory is not the same.
We need to engage people to work. Ukrainian youth are not working. Meanwhile, we have all this here. Why should that happen? We say in the northern region we are poor. Meanwhile, we have things to make us rich here.
The Minister, Hawa Kumsin, wants shareholders to hand over the facility to government.
We go whatever. They will have to sign off. If they can, they continue. If they can't, they should just withdraw. And we'll do whatever we can do to get this place functioning. They will have to come to Accra so that we'll sit down and discuss. We have to get this place functioning again.
Soil compatibility studies places Sisala West and East districts in the Upper West region as major cotton producers, leading to the establishment of the ginnery. But the cotton farmers have changed over to cereal production, owing to low prices offered them, lack of incentives and managerial lapses. On behalf of government, the Savannah Accelerated Development Authority has already concluded plans to revive cotton production in the area.
SADA had signed an agreement already with the China National Textile and Apparel Council to start to develop 50,000 hectares of cotton and then bring other farmers through outgrow arrangements that can grow the cotton sector to up to 500,000 hectares within 10 years.
The country has a potential cotton production area of about 500,000 hectares and could be a major income earner for Ghana. The northern sector alone is capable of producing 200,000 metric tons of lint cotton with market value of about $200 million. Ghana's cotton production has ever hit 45,000 tons per annum in the early and late 1990s, but dropped to 20,000 in the last 10 years. The minister, ready to revive development in the area, says she will do everything possible to get the ginnery back to full operations to provide employment and guarantee income security.
Total Petroleum Ghana Limited has launched its Kant Inyo MC3 and Inyo Long Life 5W30 lubricants. The new Kant lubricants delivers superior engine performance and keeps the engine stronger and clean at all times. The Total Kant Inyo MC3 5W30 and Inyo Long Life 5W30 are synthetic engine oils designed for excellent engine performance and reduction in fuel consumption. These Kant lubricants are made for both diesel and petrol engines. It was developed in response to the fast-growing technological trends in the automotive market. The Kant lubricant provides comforts for motorists by reducing the need for maintenance.
Most of these vehicles that are coming in
come with what we call anti-pollution devices. So you need an oil that will be able to provide optimal lubrication for the components and also be able to protect these anti-pollution devices. If you don't stick to what the manufacturer has recommended and you use any other oil, the oil will be working all right, but you notice that in no time these anti-pollution devices are going to break down.
The 5W30 grade is a fluid grade which reduces engine friction and the emission of carbon dioxide. The managing director of Total Petroleum Ghana Limited, Olivier Van Paris, says the lubricant has a positive impact on the environment by reducing emissions and preventing clogging.
It's a 5W30, so that means the viscosity is adjusted. It's an optimum viscosity which reduces friction. By reducing friction, you are going to consume less fuel, so that's for the benefit of the customer. It has been specifically formulated to protect what we call the anti-pollutant device. So that means they will work better, reducing the particulates emissions, and again, we protect the environment.
It also provides excellent protection for engines under all types of driving conditions. A coordinator at the National Petroleum Authority, Samuel Asaribidiako, commended Total Petroleum Ghana Limited for their commitment towards providing innovative and quality products for the Ghanaian market. The Total cards Inyo MC3, 5W30 and Inyo Long Life 5W30 can be found in all Total outlets across the country. And let's wrap it up with the performance of the Ghana cedi against its major trading currencies as the weekend is starting. Maybe you'll be receiving some dollars. Well, the cedi to the US dollar has depreciated by some 1 percentage points there. On the interbank market, you can get it for 4 Ghana cedis, 18 pesos, and same when you're buying it. That is for the selling price there on the interbank market. That is a cedi to the dollar. Now, the cedi to the Great British Pound, it is being bought at 5 Ghana cedis, 41 pesos. Same for the selling price when it's being sold to you there on the market. And for the cedi to that of the euro is 4 Ghana cedis, 55 pesos when you're buying it, and when it's being sold to you, it's being sold at 4 Ghana cedis, 56 pesos. Well, this would differ from one bank to the other, but the forex prices are always sometimes a bit higher than that on the interbank market. So let's see how the weekend turns out for you if you have some cash to change. But that will do for business tonight. Enjoy your weekend. My name is Nanikia Mensah Brampa. We have sports after this. Good evening.
All right, now we are approaching the climax of the football season in Europe. And as the title race hots up in England between Chelsea and aggressive chasers Tottenham Hotspur, and the likes of Manchester United and Manchester City are also doing battle against Liverpool and Arsenal for the remaining 2 spots in the top 4. Here's who the big sides face this season. All right, now to the world of tennis, and the underlying love for tennis with kids is generally rallying. TV3 Sports has been speaking with some of these kids about their journey to becoming some of the world's best players in the sport.
Tennis has historically been called the sport for a lifetime, but it is not a strange phenomenon that there is low interest in the sport as compared to football in our part of the world. Roger Federer and Serena Williams can be inspirations to young passionate children around the world. The reason why modified tennis has been so important for junior development. It allows kids to rally at a young age. In Ghana, the sport has seen a lot of kids rise to the top, positively influencing their lives across all levels. For some of these kids, tennis has become their pathway to future glory and considers it one of their best sports.
I want to become #1 in Ghana, so I like to go outside and play tennis like Rafa Nadal.
I've been playing tennis for 3 years. It's a really good sport. My role model is Stan Wawrinka. I just like the way he plays.
Serena Williams, she is my role model.
because I like her serving is fun, how she's brave and strong on court, and her reactions on court too. I want tennis to go higher than football now.
To every mentee, there is a teacher. These kids are groomed through strategic plans that could set them on their path to greatness. President of Ghana Tennis Federation, Isaac Dua, explains how kids are recruited and urges the public to support the initiative.
We get these kids by their interest and their coaches on every court. The coaches are there to guide the kids who show interest. Tennis has gone down and we are trying to see if we can revive it. If we want to raise champions again, that is what we ought to do. With a little support, they can win laurels again for Ghana.
Hopefully, we are going to be getting our own Roger Federers and Rafa Nadals from some of these kids in the sport. But let's do some bodybuilding now. And TV3's Ghana's Strongest auditions will come off Saturday, April 29 on TV3's premises, Kanda, Accra. The search for Ghana's Strongest Man is still on for 2017. And after selecting some men from Tamale, Kumasi and Takoradi, the next stop is in Accra. The competition is in its 6th season, and the athletes so far have promised the most intriguing and entertaining season yet. About 7 athletes will be selected on Saturday by commissioners to match up against the already chosen 13 from the other 3 zones. On that note, let's bring an end to the sports bulletin right here on News 360. My name is Thierry Nyan. We've got some more news by Alfredo Kanse and Natalie Ford. Stand by.
Welcome back to News 360 and entertainment news this evening. There's some good news for up-and-coming musicians in the Western region. Westline Entertainment, in partnership with Connect FM, a subsidiary of the Media General Group, are organizing the first ever Music Awards. That's an event to honor outstanding musicians in that region.
The Ghana music industry has seen several award schemes to celebrate promising talent. The Western region has churned out great music icons: Papa Youngson, CK Man, Jedible Ambule, Akablave, Castro and Kofi Kenata, to mention but a few. Promising talents keep emerging from the region. Powered by Westland Entertainment and Connect FM, a subsidiary of the Media General Group, the Made in Western Music Award will honor gifted music talent.
We are awarding the legends. We have people like CK Man, we have A.B. Krentel, we have Papa Youngson. All of these legends, Paulino Joe, they are from the region, and we feel it's time to honor them. They are the sons and daughters of the soil, and it's time for the land to honor them. So we are awarding both the up-and-coming and the legends.
Nomination list for the event has already been released. Categories including High Life Artist and Song of the Year, Reggae Dancehall Artist of the Year, New Artist of the Year and Gospel Song of the Year will be keenly contested for. The Western Music Awards comes off on April 29.
All right, so that's it for the news tonight. It came to you live from our news hub here at Desawe. My name is Alfredo Kanse.
And I'm Natalie Fort. Thanks for your time this evening. News at 10 will be simulcast on 3FM 92.7. There's more news on our website, freenews.com. Next is Do Not Love Me So Much. Stay with TV3 and enjoy your weekend.